Data-driven companies vastly outperform traditional competitors. They are 23 times more likely to acquire customers and 19 times more likely to stay profitable. Broadening the macroeconomic picture, the global data visualization market has expanded to nearly $3.9 billion, providing massive financial incentive. But modern organizations are generating an overwhelming flood of raw inputs: every customer interaction, enterprise software entry, and physical sensor produces a continuous stream of glowing digital nodes that buries the underlying corporate structure. Simply gathering all those nodes doesn't automatically yield insights. Without a mechanism to process it, an endless supply of raw information is effectively useless. Information is merely a raw material. A company's success depends entirely on building a functional pipeline to extract, refine, and actually use it. The start of that pipeline involves the continuous, high-volume collection of both consumer metrics and internal operational numbers. This diagram illustrates a common roadblock: data silos. When departments maintain isolated storage clusters that fail to communicate, leadership cannot see the full organizational picture. Holding massive amounts of disconnected consumer information also creates a serious legal minefield. Strict compliance laws like GDPR and CCPA enforce harsh penalties for mismanaging data. The structural fix is building active pipelines using cloud warehouses and APIs, which act as secure bridges feeding into a single, unified hub. Without that structural integration and strict governance, hoarding large volumes of information is a legal liability rather than a competitive asset. Even when aggregated into a single hub, raw data is inherently messy. It is filled with duplicated entries, missing fields, and human errors. Analysts follow a cardinal rule: garbage in, garbage out. When a glitching, corrupted stream of inputs feeds into a corporate planning system, it causes the entire mechanism to seize up and corrupts executive strategy. This schematic outlines the mandatory technological solution, ETL. It illustrates 3 distinct sequential stages: extract, transform, and load, which filter chaotic inputs into a structured, uniform output. Automated ETL tools standardize these datasets, identifying and fixing inconsistencies long before a human analyst ever interacts with the numbers. The most sophisticated analytical models in the world are ultimately only as reliable as the purity of the material feeding them. Once the information is cleanly integrated, the pipeline hits its most severe bottleneck: the human element. There is a severe global shortage of professionals trained in the specialized tools required to interpret these numbers, like the database language SQL, the programming language Python, and machine learning algorithms. Successful organizations combat this shortage by investing in targeted upskilling and verifiable credentialing for their workforce. This ensures staff can proficiently handle advanced implementations, such as the roles of data in AI and machine learning. Yet even with highly trained analysts on staff, an initiative will fail if executives stubbornly rely on gut instinct and resist evidence-based strategies. Technological infrastructure is entirely useless if an organization lacks the trained workforce to interpret it and the corporate culture to trust it. When a business successfully clears the silos, automates the cleaning process, and trains its people, the friction of raw information is replaced by a high-speed engine for strategic growth. This line chart demonstrates predictive analytics. By plotting historical data, companies project a glowing trend line into a future quadrant, forecasting market shifts. Look closely, and this trend line transforms into an optimized logistical routing map. By analyzing process patterns, organizations automate workflows to drastically cut costs. Deep data analysis also maps individual consumer habits. That creates the ability to offer bespoke user experiences and highly targeted marketing campaigns based on exact preferences. Navigating this pipeline is not an off-the-shelf software purchase. It requires an infrastructural and cultural adaptation that separates the companies that will survive the digital age from those that will dominate it.